Today we'll discuss Solitary Reaper by William Wordsworth. Behold her single in the field, yon solitary island lass, reaping and singing by herself, stop here or gently pass. The poet, while traveling to mountains, comes across a lonely girl who is cutting crops and singing by herself. So the poet tries to direct the attention of the passers-by to the girl, the people who are also traveling from that area. He also says that stop here or gently pass. That means if you want to listen to her song, stay here very quietly. And if you want to go, you can gently pass without disturbing her in her singing. Now let's move on to second stanza. Now the poet says, alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. Now the poet says that the girl alone is cutting the grain as well as binding them. And also she is singing a sad song. Melancholy means sad. And again he is directing the attention of the passers-by to listen to her song which has filled the whole valley. Now let's read the third stanza. No nightingale did ever chaunt more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. Now the poet says that not even nightingale can sing as sweet as this girl is singing. So here the word weary bands means tired travelers, and shady haunt means secluded place with a shade. So as the poet compares girl's song with nightingale bird's song, he also adds that when a tired group of travelers take rest in some shady shelter in the middle of Arabian desert which is very hot, so when this bird nightingale sings a melodious note, it sounds very sweet and welcoming to those travelers. But according to the poet, the girl is singing sweeter than the nightingale. A voice so thrilling ne'er was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. Now the poet compares the song of the girl with cuckoo bird, another bird which sings very well. So the poet says that in springtime, as the cuckoo bird sings, it breaks the silence of the seas in the far off Hebrides Islands. But again, according to the poet, the voice of the girl is more thrilling than the cuckoo bird. Now let's move on to the next stanza. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far off things and battles long ago. Now the poet is wondering what the girl is singing because he cannot understand even a word, because she is probably singing in her native language, Gaelic. Now the poet asks the travelers or the passers-by that will no one tell me what she sings? That will nobody tell me that what this girl is singing? And now he himself is assuming that she must be singing mournful song, something sad and unhappy which had happened in the past, or maybe about the battles that had happened long ago. Now the poet says, or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today, some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and maybe again. Now the poet is still trying to guess what that girl is singing, so he says that the song might be about some usual happening, some matters of day-to-day life, some natural sorrow, some usual happening, domestic loss, pain, death, something which has happened and which may happen again. Whate'er the theme the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending, I saw her singing at her work and o'er the sickle bending. Now the poet says, whatever may be the theme or the meaning of the song that the girl was singing, but it was like it had no ending. The song of the girl had made a huge impact at the poet's mind as he saw her singing while she was bending and cutting the crops. I listened, motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. The poet says that he stood still and listened to the song of the girl. As he mounted up the hill and went away, still he had that song of that girl in his heart. Even he couldn't hear that anymore. That means the song of the girl made a huge, long lasting impact on the poet's mind.